Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to cover all the small little clips and teasers that we've gotten in the past couple of days from GGG, which are basically, quality of life features and updates that we can expect to come in 3.24 Necropolis League. And everything is leading up to tomorrow's big event, which is the Path of Exile live stream that is basically uncovering the new league, what we can expect, and probably we're gonna get patch notes after. And then next week we can launch or get ourselves back into raid class, and I cannot wait to try out all the new stuff that is coming. Probably new skill gems, a lot of transfigure gems, probably new uniques, and all these kind of things. So today I want to watch with you guys all the, I think it was like 10 clips or something from Mark presenting the new stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents at the end, or at least after each clip or everything that happens. And we're gonna see if everything is insane and cool and great and GG best dev ever, or if yeah, some things are not as good. So let's take a look at the first one.
In an effort to streamline the process of making multiple characters, we're changing how Pantheon powers work. When you upgrade a Pantheon power with a Divine Vessel, you will now get to keep that upgrade on all characters across the league. Each character will still need to defeat the gods to unlock the base Pantheon powers, but the upgrades will only need to be acquired once per league.
So first thing first is the upgraded Pantheons, and this is something I really like. I'm somebody that levels up, I don't know, like 10 to 20 characters every single league, which sounds absurd for many, but is completely normal for me. Honestly, for me, it's always like a step-by-step program, you know, get the character through a campaign, get like a 5-way going to hit like level 80 and stuff like that, and then every single league after, a week into the league, I usually make a notepad listing all the 20 maps that I need to get all the Pantheon upgrades. And this is something most people don't care about. I'm somebody, you know, OCD and stuff. I always want to have everything on every character. So as I said, then I'm like picking up all the Divine Vessels and all the 20 maps, and then I just run those maps to level up my character and unlock the Pantheon. Something that I do on every single character. And honestly, I'm happy that I only have to do this like one time now.
Today, we've got a handy new shortcut for you when trading with other players. By holding down Control and Shift, you can click a stackable item to move all copies of it in your inventory straight into the trade window. This should make life easier when exchanging vast amounts of currency items.
Imagine having vast majority of currency items. Nothing big to add here. That should have been in there since a long time. And sometimes I'm always wondering if GGG is actually having a list where there's so many quality of life changes. They're like, okay, let's do like 10 to 15 per league, so we have some new quality of life things every single league to keep the game refreshing and show people that we're working on stuff all the time. Or if they're actually like sometimes not bringing in all the stuff so they have stuff for next league, I don't know, but it's great.
If you're the kind of player that uses a lot of socket-altering currency to craft your items, this one's for you. When applying some currency items like Orbs of Fusing or Jeweler's Orbs, you will now be able to constantly use those orbs without having to repeatedly click your mouse, or the equivalent on controller. As long as you hold down Control and left click, you will use orbs until you run out or until the goal is achieved. Meaning that Jeweler's Orbs can be held down on an item until it achieves maximum sockets, or Orbs of Fusing can be held down until it achieves maximum links.
I don't know why I spent the past 7 years by now in perfecting the clicking speed. First of all, the clicking speed that they show in the video is very slow. I can click like probably 3 times faster than that. Nothing better than getting 1,000 fusing to just bam them away. Yeah, I guess it's all like for the greater good to keep our fingers healthy. So
we have a short and sweet
good
update
things
for you today. The breach hand chests spawned during breach encounters have always been very annoying to click on in the heat of battle. In 3.24, we will be changing them to no longer require clicking to open. Just run near them and they'll open automatically.
Just running next to things and then make it just open. I think this is very good. It's like similar to like gold pickup in other games where it's just piles of gold there and you just run over and you just get soaked in. And I would like to see this change on opening doors, for example. That would be insane. But there is something else that I want to point out here. There is a Val Split Arrow. 3 stacks of Val Split Arrow. I have no idea how this is going to look like. And that makes me instantly think about leveling up a Bleed Bow character as my league starter.
3.24, the Masters, Alva of Incursion, Nico of Delve, Einhar of Bestiary, and Jun of Betrayal will no longer be mutually exclusive and can appear in the same map.
This is something I've never understood. Like, honestly, it's still a league mechanic, and I can have Legion and Breach and Metamorph in one map, but I cannot have Bestiary and Nico. It's like something I never
Speaking
understood.
of Betrayal, we're making the following changes. The
I guess this is like,
reward
finally.
of remove a random modifier, replacing it with the Veiled modifier instead, has been moved to the function of the Veiled Chaos Orb, and has been removed from safe houses. Veiled Chaos Orbs will now exclusively drop from Katarina, the leader of the Immortal Syndicate. This makes the orb more powerful, but also allows for full trading of this craft between players and a more clear path to target farming this orb by maximizing your Katarina kills.
I'm happy, but also not happy, because I really like the Veiled Chaos Orb. This was my primary source of crafting. You get a fractured base, a fractured suffix, right? You SS spam a second suffix, and then you just spam S until you hit the third. You lock your suffixes, and then you Veiled Chaos Orb, re-rolling your prefix and add a Veiled modifier. So this was my primary source of crafting. It's not gonna change a lot, because it would just, I guess, remove the meta craft, because it's a prefix, and then just adds the Veiled modifier. I mean, you can Exalt Slam afterwards, so I don't think there's still like the RNG factor, because a Veiled Chaos Orb could fill up your prefixes if you're unlucky, and then you have to go for the 50-50 annual or something. That's gonna be massively strong for endgame crafting, just because I guess you can now just lock it and then A-sling, and it's gonna be guaranteed. So you just spend a couple of lockets. They are expensive, but we're talking about mirror tier items. So if you can always finish off your item with an guaranteed A-sling thanks to lockets.
The capability to add higher than 20% quality to weapons, armors, and flasks has been removed from Betrayal, and these reward outcomes have been replaced. Your flasks can now be corrupted by Val Orbs, which will add a random quality value, from -10 to +10. Good luck!
Quality benches removed from the safe houses. I'm not sure how I think about that. I mean, so basically non-corrupted items would be gilded, like not gilded fossils, was it perfect fossils to get up the quality before, like preparing the base, right? But if you have a good crafted item, you can probably beast craft and make it corrupted with 30% quality, but do you really want to do that? Because a corrupted item cannot be mirrored and stuff like that, you know? I'm not sure about the corrupting flaws, because honestly, thinking about, you have a Progenesis that is like 80 divines or something, you know, you put on 20 quality, you would like to have like 28 from the safe houses, but it is now removed. So are you really willing to corrupt your Progenesis and risk to get actually lower quality? I'm not sure about that. I'd rather just have all my flasks in 20% quality, and that's about it. And with the other items, I'm just curious, like unique items, I don't know if there's a Beastcraft or something, or how do you get unique items to get like up to 28 or 30% quality now? Let me know in the comments below. I just, while recording this video, I wouldn't know any form, just like making it corrupted and quality up there, but this is like kind of like wasted stuff. Probably want a double corrupted thing, right?
The craft that upgrades an amulet to a talisman has instead been moved to Bestiary League. Since the captured monsters in Bestiary can be traded, you can now trade for the amulet craft at your leisure.
You know, shouldn't say something where I have actually basically no clue about it, dude.
Notice something different about this Harvest UI? In 3.24, we're changing the screen to have the item hover always visible as you craft. This prevents the frustration of mousing back and forth hundreds of times as you refine your items.
For me, that is not quality of life. For me, that is simply a bug fix, because this is, I think, what it's supposed to be like from the get-go, right?
Corrupting maps. When you use a Val Orb on a map, the map no longer has a chance to become unidentified. Instead, we've created a set of implicits that affect the area in strange and potentially profitable ways. Some are simple, like increasing item quantity or monster pack size. Others might increase the effect of your Atlas tree on the area. You could even roll a mod that removes soul gain prevention from the player, allowing you to absolutely spam Val skills in the map. If you're lucky, you could even roll a mod that makes all map device crafts free for that map.
It is nice if you're having like some 8 mod threads, but I don't like when the outcome changes, you know, if your map gets upgraded from like a tier 14 to a 15 and then has like 8 mods and there is like Fist Reflect, Alley Reflect and this, and then I just you know, sell it off or put it in guild stash or something because I couldn't run it anymore. Modifiers that completely disable your build, I think they should kind of go. I mean, for example, if you're playing Ignite build and it's like 100% chance to avoid elemental ailments, then good luck doing this map. You can't, you know, you have a Fizz build and it's Fizz Reflect, goodbye, unless you're Slayer, right? This is like something I'd like to get my character nerfed with map mods, but making things like completely impossible, I think this is like kind of like old school and I don't really like that aspect. Maybe it's just to piss off people in hardcore, I don't know, but this is actually a decent change. It's a GGG showcase, right? And they are using a Mage Blood on this build, but they don't have Enkindling Flasks, where I'm like, they just forgot? Or it just indicates that Instilling and Enkindling Orbs are gone. Instilling should be in there. The problem with Enkindling Orbs, I don't think that any spec was using that unless you wanted to like cheat your POB DPS, unless you had a Mage Blood. The Enkindling Orbs were just like making Mage Blood twice as strong as it already is, because in one hand your flasks are always up, but you can also like use your Enkindling Orbs and give them 70% increased effect, also lowering duration, but also getting 25% extra effect, essentially doubling the value of a Mage Blood just in the power it provides. Mage Blood is already the top tier item. There's only Mage Blood and Headhunter, right? But Mage Blood is, in my opinion, just overall stronger than Headhunter. And with the flask changes, with the Enkindling Orbs, it's just making it unnecessarily even more powerful. I would love to see Enkindling Orbs go, but Instilling Orbs should definitely be in there. So they also changed the flasks over here. A Ruby Flask, 50 fire res and 20% less damage taken, scaling with the flask effect. The new ones here have 5 to maximum resistance and 40 to fire resistance in that case, right? So a big nerf to a lot of like high-end Pathfinder builds that were stacking flask effect and already had 90% maximum resistance and then got like a 40% less damage taken because of flask effect, right? There is definitely going to be flask changes over there, maybe a complete overhaul, but here we have the Instilling Orbs again. So Instilling Orbs in and Kindling out, I would appreciate that.
In 3.24, we have a little change to divination cards. Stacked decks and Diviner's Strongboxes can no longer drop cards for boss-specific uniques. While this reduces access to those uniques, farming the bosses will now feel more meaningful.
I like this change. There is bosses and they have specific drops, so if you want to have one of these drops, you have to kill the boss and farm that, and not turn in a div card and say like, hey, you get a unique sword, oh, look at this, it's Starforge from Shaper, you know? It just devalues bosses overall, and I think bosses are not really, I mean, there is top-notch drops, you know, like Progenesis Flask, the best flask in the game, like, no doubt at all. But as long as there is div cards, or other things or forms where you can acquire boss drops without killing the boss, it's just devaluing the boss, right? And the more things they do it like that, where you say, hey, stack decks and Diviner Strongboxes can no longer give you div cards from boss drops, I think this is a great change.
They're adding 2 new skill gems in 3.24, Automation and Call to Arms. These skill gems can be toggled on to auto-cast linked instant skills the moment they're off cooldown. We've removed the capacity to bind any instant skill to left click as a result.
So, yeah, I don't think this is good. It is good, but only half good. Let's say I have a 4-link and you have like your automating support, whatever, and then you have like Blood Rage, Molten Shell, and I don't know, Phase Run, whatever, you know, Withering Step. You can automate all these 3 together, while this wasn't able before just because you had only one left click, right? So if you hold it down, you can just have this one ability. Problem here though is it requires more gem slots, and most of the builds would like to have even more gem slots, and there are builds where I'm thinking about taking unset rings just to get additional gem slots. The ability to left click automate something is gone. They removed that. I would rather have both options available. One is gonna be guaranteed a left click, but if I need more, then I can use this support gem to make that. And just having left click completely removed and just serving now as a walking tool is kind of like a sad thing in my opinion.
This not only allows you to retain the same behavior as before, but it will now auto-cast the skills while you are stationary. Players who use a gamepad will appreciate this one. Some quality of life improvements to systems in the endgame. We have 2 for you today. Firstly, we have added the capability to exchange between fragments of knowledge and fragments of shape, and also between fragments of terror and fragments of emptiness. These are the fragments required to enter the Uber Elder fight.
You still have to, like, in order to get the Uber Elder, it just now guaranteed basically that you have to kill Shaper and Elder at least 2 times, and then if you're unlucky and find the same fragment multiple times, you can just convert it, which is gonna be very, very nice in the Solo Self-Found environment. It's a small little thing, but I actually like that one.
You can exchange them at the Hoarder crafting station acquired through harvest encounters in the in-game. Secondly, Maven invitations no longer drop. Instead, when you have completed witnessing all bosses required to go to the Maven's arena, you can just talk to Kerak and he'll open a map device window with the invitation already in there, ready to be rolled. Valdo's maps that granted invitations now give scarabs. No more having to waste Guardian kills trying to get the invitations to drop.
I really, really like this change. As he mentioned, sometimes you have everything unlocked for the Maven's Crucible, all 4 Guardians, but you were just unlucky and didn't get an invitation. And some of these invitations got ridiculously expensive over time, like certain invitations cost like a Divine. But I'm like, why? I unlocked these bosses, so let me buy the Maven invitation. So that could also result in Maven's invitation, or at least the Maven's writ getting cheaper over time, just because people don't need to use invitations anymore. But I think like it's a good change in terms of progression. So I'm killing all the bosses, and once I've done all of that, I can just run the invitation and get like some extra monies out of my effort of doing Guardians and stuff like that. So, and for Solo Self-Found, we not even have to talk about that, how crazy strong that is going to be. Like now for boss rushing and stuff like that, I think that's gonna be giga monies if you can just print out the invitations and stuff and the boss drops. And I think overall it's like a nice change. But this basically sums up all the spoilers and teasers that we've gotten in the past couple of days. And tomorrow evening we're gonna have the big reveal of the league, and I cannot wait. And I'm gonna live stream the event as always, like restream. And we're gonna find out what GGG has in store for us other than the quality of life changes, and is this gonna be the best league ever, or just weird league? But no, we're gonna find out. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.